Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something pretty massive, escaping the algorithmic void. If you're an independent artist, you know exactly what I mean. It feels like you're constantly fighting this losing battle against social media feeds, right? You're tossing your hard work into a literal black hole, just crossing your fingers and hoping someone actually notices. But there is a way out. We're going to look at how building a simple relationship notebook, basically a system to truly own your fan connections, is your absolute superpower. We'll build a totally beginner-friendly workflow from managing your fan data using just basic spreadsheets, so you can focus on what actually matters, building genuine, permission-based relationships without feeling completely overwhelmed. But before we get into the how-to, we gotta talk about the villain of our story, and I absolutely love this quote. "Dear valued subscriber" sounds like a printer jam wearing a necktie. It so perfectly captures what we are not going to do here. Somewhere along the line, artists got tricked into thinking that managing fan relationships meant becoming this soulless corporate spam machine. You definitely do not have to talk to your fans like you're their bank. We are throwing that entire idea right out the window. Think about the old system we've all been trapped in. You're posting into the algorithmic void. You're desperately chasing rented attention and agonizing over these fake vanity metrics. You know what I'm talking about? Like someone blindly tapping a heart on your post while they're waiting for their microwave burrito to finish. Now contrast that with the new system. This one is built entirely on owned connection, direct permission, and genuine fan relationships. Your follower count? That's not your business. Your real business actually starts with the people who have specifically given you permission to contact them directly. Okay, let's tackle a slightly intimidating corporate buzzword for a second. CRM, or Customer Relationship Management. I know, it sounds like something invented in a conference room with terrible fluorescent lighting. But for artists, let's just redefine it right now. A CRM is simply a way to remember your fans, respect their permission, and communicate with them usefully. It's essentially a relationship notebook with a little bit of structure. What it is absolutely not is some creepy corporate surveillance machine where you hoard data. But hey, before you run off and try to build some overwhelming NASA-level dashboard with birthday automations and VIP scoring and all that, slow down, Captain Spreadsheet. Seriously, the biggest mistake artists make is trying to build a spaceship before they even know how to ride a bicycle. A simple, basic spreadsheet is your bicycle. It is the absolute best, most effective place to start. Let's bring it back to earth with a beginner-friendly workflow. It's literally just 4 simple steps. Step 1, a fan enters your world. Maybe they scan a QR code at your live show. Step 2, you send them a welcome message and make it a real, human one. Step 3, you update your basic spreadsheet record. And finally, step 4, you communicate based on relevance, sending them updates they actually care about. This flow keeps you totally organized, and best of all, it completely eliminates that feeling of overwhelm. So what actually goes into this magical basic spreadsheet? Well, just these 8 things for your starter inventory. Name, email, location, maybe consent, source, interest, activity, and notes. And that's the whole shebang. We start with one very humble question: what do I need to know so I can communicate with this fan respectfully and usefully? Doing this prevents you from just hoarding garbage data. Rule of thumb, if it doesn't help you serve the fan better, leave it out. Now, you might be wondering why we even bother collecting these specific fields. Well, picture this. Imagine sending a message that simply says, "Hey Sarah, thanks for coming to the Asheville show." See how that feels? That feels like a real human being talking to another human being. That right there is the superpower of just having a simple note and a first name. It makes your fans feel genuinely seen instead of making them feel like they're just part of some target demographic. And this brings us to a really crucial question that your spreadsheet can answer for you. Where are your true fans actually coming from? Think about it. Are you exhausting yourself spending 3 hours editing a single social media post when your real fans are actually trying to connect with you somewhere else entirely? To put that into perspective, the data often paints a pretty surprising picture. Just imagine having 60 people enthusiastically join your list from a QR code right at your merch table after a killer set, compared to maybe 2 people from that social media post you spent half your day on. Your spreadsheet quietly tells you exactly where real connection is happening, which means you can finally stop wasting your energy banging on doors that just don't open. Here is the absolute golden rule. A system without ethics is basically just a spam cannon with better stationery. A spam cannon just takes data without asking and traps subscribers in a maze. But an ethical notebook, which is your starter spreadsheet, asks for permission up front, explains exactly why you need the info, and makes leaving super easy if they want to. Always remember, the ultimate goal here is a genuine permission-based relationship. And look, ethics aren't just about good manners, they're actually the law. If your fan base crosses international borders, you absolutely cannot play cowboy with consent. The US has CAN spam, requiring clear opt-outs and a physical address. Over in Europe, GDPR is heavily permission-forward and all about minimizing data. Canada's CASL requires super strict, explicit consent. Now, don't panic, you don't have to become a privacy lawyer overnight, but you absolutely must build clean habits early. Simple rules: don't buy email lists, and definitely do not hide your unsubscribe link. Once you've got that clean list, you can completely fix how you promote your shows. We're going to stop doing panic marketing, blasting the entire planet about a gig you have coming up in Richmond. Unless your fans have invented teleportation devices, doing that just trains people to ignore you. Instead, we switch to smart promotion. You use the location data right in your spreadsheet to only message the people close enough to actually show up. Relevancy is literally the difference between being annoying and being genuinely useful. Let's pivot to your music releases and see how this system builds over time. We have to stop treating a release like a one-day panic parade where you just drop a link everywhere and obsessively refresh your stats. By using your spreadsheet, you can actually create a really cool relationship arc. 6 weeks out, you start telling your most engaged fans the story behind the song. On release day, you send out targeted messages based on what they're interested in. And then, 4 weeks later, you look back at the data and see who actually bought the vinyl or who joined up after a show. And speaking of vinyl, this spreadsheet idea is literally a game changer for your merch. You can easily track who buys vinyl versus CDs, what t-shirt sizes are blowing up in which specific cities, and even integrate it with fun things like fan passport stamps to reward your most hardcore followers. By just keeping track of these simple interests, you completely eliminate the guesswork of figuring out what your fans actually want to buy. Because honestly, nothing screams I am an independent artist quite like wrapping up a long tour and realizing you've got 87 extra small shirts, 0 mediums, and exactly 1 large. Hope is not a valid inventory strategy, guys. Tracking your basic merch data won't magically make your store perfect, but it will absolutely stop it from being ridiculous. Okay, moving on from physical merch, we've got to address the elephant in the room. What about AI? How does artificial intelligence fit into all of this without sanding off your unique personality or making things feel incredibly creepy? You might be sitting there wondering if you should let a robot talk to your fans. The short, emphatic answer is absolutely not. If you're using AI to just spray fake intimacy over a list of people, you haven't innovated. You've basically just invented spam with jazz hands. Instead, you want to use AI as a helpful assistant behind the scenes. You can feed it completely anonymized summaries from your spreadsheet and just ask it to spot patterns. Ask it things like, hey, which cities look ready for a return show based on this summary? Or what merch items do my live show fans seem to prefer? AI is there to help you think. It's not there to replace your voice. Now, as you get comfortable with all this, you can absolutely upgrade your gear. Step 1 is just your free Google Sheets. It's the perfect, simple, zero-cost place to start. Step 2, when you're ready to level up, is moving to an email platform like MailChimp or Kit, which helps a ton with legal compliance and sign-up forms. And eventually, Step 3 is a full artist business system, like the Making a Scene Artist Fan Passport OS, where your site, your data, your merch, and your QR codes are all talking to each other. But remember, start small. As we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a bit of a hard truth to just let sink in. The algorithm does not love you. It does not hate you either. It is literally just a machine built to serve its own business model. And to that machine, your latest song is just another object flying through a feed. Social platforms can vanish, and the permission from these gatekeepers can disappear in an absolute instant. In an industry that is constantly burning its credibility just to get a tiny fraction of a click rate, spamming harder is definitely not the answer. The truly rebellious move? It's building trust. It's taking ownership of your data, deeply respecting your fans, keeping good records, and actually turning real human relationships into sustainable revenue that supports your art. So here's my final question for you. Are you ready to stop renting your audience and actually start owning your relationships? Seriously, stop letting these platforms own the connections that you earned in real life. Go open up a blank spreadsheet right now, start your relationship notebook today, and take that very first step out of the algorithmic void.